wreck of the Toronto had gone undiscovered for years. It was only by accident that I'd spotted it a month ago while repairing an underseas cable. Now I was checking the cargo with another diver, Sam Carter. I'm Mike Nelson. We'd been buddies in a Navy UDT outfit during the war in Korea. I was hoping to get him started in the underwater salvage business. My hunch had been right. There was a fortune in copper and brass down here. Trouble. What was the matter upstairs?
What's wrong, honey? What's the trouble?
Look.
Well, just scuba divers, that's all.
I know. Pretty far out for divers.
I came from that ship out there. I saw them.
Oh, that's a salvage ship.
They're after our cargo?
It could be.
What do you mean? They're going to steal it from us?
Yeah, they could be pirates.
These characters could be interested in only one of two things out here. Norma Carter, or the cargo that I'd located for her husband, Sam.
Hey, hiya, doll. Hey, you're the nicest thing I've seen in pants around here. What's your name, doll?
None of your business. Why don't you shove off, Buster?
A job to do.
What kind of a job?
The bug hunters, mister. You know, hunting lobsters. I bet that old wreck you found for us down there is just crawling with them. Just crawling. Okay, Duke boy, let's go.
Lobsters?
Couldn't be bug hunting out here, could they, Mike?
I doubt it. Let's go down and look, huh? Find out.
As we headed down, I saw something that didn't surprise me any. The diver was sketching on his slate. Kind of unusual for a bug hunter. They could afford to be obvious. We couldn't prove a thing. On the other hand, these characters might be conned into outsmarting themselves, if we could think how to do it. And that was the problem. How?
Hey, doll, did you miss me?
No.
Yeah, man, my kind. Yeah. Like she sends me. She sends you away. Hey, doll, I'll be back soon. Let's get out of here. Look, dig it.
You.
Yeah.
I'd like to see those guys come around here just once more.
We're gonna wait out there just like vultures.
They know we have to leave here. Better make port and get a barge, equipment, and a crew, too, before we can salvage the dime for us.
That's right.
How long would it take, Mike?
Well, figure a day going in, at least a day in port, and a couple of days coming back. Those barges are very slow.
Well, there must be some kind of law against piracy.
Yeah, sure, there is, Norma. Put a market buoy out there. We'll be here when we get back. Only the cargo down there won't be.
Mike, what about the Coast Guard?
Now, look, honey. Now, look. Maybe I don't have it, but I always did my own fighting.
Hey, he sure did. He did some of mine, too. He saved my life at Inchon.
That was a long time ago, Mike. I'm not about to start calling the cops now.
Well, don't worry. The Coast Guard's not about to stand guard over a wreck, either. Not for 4 days. I got too many other things to do. Hey.
Huh?
You remember that brilliant idea you had at Inchon?
Oh, you mean when we planted the booby trap?
Uh-huh. We planted it so they could find it.
Yeah.
Hey, Brady. Take a look.
You got? What kind of gizmo's that supposed to be? It looks like a bomb or something. But he looks all steamed up, too. I don't get it.
So what else is news?
All right, Mr. Wise Guy, you figure it out.
Oh, no. You're the bomb expert. At least you weren't until they psychoed you out of the Army. Hey, Charlie, you don't talk much. Maybe you know something. Well, what kind of a gizmo is it?
I don't know. Looks like some kind of radio.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, like in a space thing. A satellite.
Yeah, that figures all right. It sure figures. A radio.
And why not expert?
Well, maybe I'll just let you figure it out, Mr. Wise Guy. I'm gonna turn in. Oh, listen, be sure and roust me, will you, if they launch that satellite?
I was going to rig this to that wreck down below, so that if it shifted while we were away getting equipment, there wouldn't be any problem locating it again.
But now you're going to set it up as a burglar alarm, right?
Uh-huh. We'll wire it to a couple of pieces of cargo down there with wires and switches that they're almost sure to find.
Well, you brought some along?
Yeah, I got just about everything we need there. I was all stocked up for a demo job.
Mike, I don't understand. You want them to find the switches.
Uh-huh.
Why?
You tell her, Sam. It's your setup.
Are they in the box?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Norma, see, the idea is they figure that if they just don't mess with these switches, they can strip the wreck of its cargo and the beeper won't beep.
But it will beep anyway?
Yeah? If those characters are as smart as they think they are.
Well, what if they are, Mike? You know, we'd be knocking ourselves out down there for nothing.
Like we did at Inchon, huh?
There was a war going on, remember?
Now, what do you think this is? They wouldn't stop at killing somebody if they had to. Those guys are after everything you've got, including Norma.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they think they can take her. You know something? They're wrong. They're dead wrong.
They finished working on it, whatever it is. They're getting ready to dive.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're going in. You better tell Brady.
Why?
Well, hadn't he ought to know?
Brady? He knows already.
Brady knows everything.
Sam Carter and I were fighting a war against pirates. We were hoping to win it with a special kind of booby trap. It had worked fine at Incheon Harbor, Korea. It just might this time, too. Once we got to the bottom, Sam's old confidence and skill came back in a rush. In no time at all, he was splicing the trip switches to the cable that powered the radio beacon. If anyone moved the box, they'd release the trip switch. Presumably, that would break the circuit and set off the radio. It looked like a typical burglar alarm, childishly simple. Any smart crook could beat it without half trying. We wanted Brady and Doak to try. We rigged the second trip switch the same way. That gave them 2 chances to cut their throats. To save them the trouble of figuring out where to start, I hid the cable connection under a metal plate. A bloodhound with a head cold would be able to find it.
You'd better call Brady now. They're pulling out.
Well, looks like they're taking off and leaving the whole thing to us, huh?
Yeah, they're heading this way.
Yeah, they left the marker buoy. That thing's tied to it.
Yeah, good for them.
Who's in charge here?
Why?
Well, whoever it is, you tell them if you rig that wreck with a radio beacon. It's a burglar alarm, and you move any of that cargo down there while we're away, and it'll start squawking. And it won't stop until the Coast Guard shuts it off.
I'll be sure and tell them.
And you can also tell them that that beacon is armed. Smash it, or even disconnect it, and boom, end of story. At that, it'll still send out one signal.
All right, I'll be sure and tell them that, too.
Well, now, how do you like that?
I told you it was a radio.
That's right, you did, Mr. Spaceman. Now, come on, start those engines. Take us right over by that thing. Very careful you don't bump it, though. We don't want to go boom.
Hey, wait a minute. You out of your mind for real? Didn't you hear what that blonde guy said? That's a burglar alarm.
It's a burglar alarm. So it's a burglar alarm. Go on, get going. What's the matter with you, anyway?
Don't you know why they bounced me out of the Army? I found out how to beat the one at the PX. Okay, all set. Okay, it looks like we got it made this time.
Yeah, we got it made, all right. Charlie.
Yeah?
Listen, keep the radio tuned to the Coast Guard frequency. If you hear a beepity beep beep, like a coded signal...
Not a chance.
Not a chance. But if you do, Charlie, will you yank on this? And hard. And you, attach this onto your belt. I got enough to do handling that.
You don't trust me where it's sour apples, do you?
Would you?
It worked.
That's what you were waiting for, wasn't it?
Those characters were so afraid of breaking the circuit that they completed it instead.
And I never thought they'd fall for it.
Oh, I'd sure like to see the looks on their faces when the Coast Guard shows up. Let's pull that hook, huh? Sweet.
What's the matter with you?
It's squawking.
Oh, you're out of your ever-loving mind.
Shut up and listen!
Come on, we gotta get out of here. I cut that line.
Well, what about Dokla?
What about him? I said cut the line. All right, start the engines. Let's get going.
We'd been anchored just over the horizon. When we returned to the site of the wreck, the pirates were already gone.
Okay, toss it over.
You two must have scared them away.
Well, I gave it a try first, though. That's what set that radio going.
Let's get out and see what they did down there, huh?
Yeah.
The cargo-filled net was too heavy to lift by hand. I signaled Sam to go topside for a hydraulic jack. I continued trying to help Doak. He was almost unconscious. He wasn't able to inhale properly through his mouthpiece. There was only one thing that I could think of. Remove his weight belt, free his shirt, and turn it into a breathing bag so he can inhale air directly.
Honey, give me the jack, will you?
The breathing bag was working so far. Now, if only the jack would do its job. If Doak needed it, we'd give him artificial respiration topside. I was sure that we'd saved his life. Who knows? Maybe we'd even changed his character a little, though I doubted that.
So you're really going to cooperate, huh?
Oh, you send me, Dal.
To jail. That's where that cutter will take you.
Well, you know, that's all right. Because I'll be taking quite a few with me. I mean, that's the least I can do for you guys, huh? Put Brady out of business?
Thanks, Mike, for putting me in business.
I only helped.
No, you did much more than that.
Oh, you see that you stay in business now.
Well, is there any reason to think that I won't?
Well, it all depends. You might get in a fight with your pretty little wife.
That'd be tough. She's the one problem I can't whip. Believe me, Mike, the only one.
I believe you, buddy.
Hi, I'm Lloyd Bridges, inviting you to join us for another action-packed story of underwater adventure 1 week from today.
drifting wreckage can be deadly as dynamite to small boats like mine. That's what I was on the lookout for, at the request of the United States Coast Guard. I'm Mike Nelson. I'm a member of the Coast Guard Auxiliary. From time to time, like now, after heavy storms, we help the regulars clean up the coastal waters. I didn't run across any debris, but I finally ran into what looked like trouble. The big seagoing cruiser was hove to broadside to the waves. No skipper would be guilty of such poor seamanship without good cause. Engine trouble, fouled up steering gear, or something of that sort. In any case, he'd probably need help. I circled the cruiser. There didn't seem to be any sign of life.
Anybody aboard? Anybody aboard?
Hey, what do you think you're doing, mister?
I thought you needed some help.
I do not.
Can you get underway on your own?
Yeah. Get out of the way.
You don't argue with a high-powered rifle. Not if you have any other way of winning. I thought that I did. The cruiser rated investigation, I thought. But that was just a civilian opinion. I felt I should report it to the Coast Guard, so I called Commander Jim Greer. The commander heard me out carefully, but what interested him most was the cruiser's position. She was lying about 1,000 yards out from Hatter's Cove, a tiny little known inlet.
That's no man's land, Mike. You could build a missile launcher there, gantries and all. Nobody'd spot it for weeks. Over.
Well, isn't that reason enough to investigate?
Hardly. But that rifle business doesn't sound good. You'd better sheer off.
I haven't given you much of a basis for official action, have I?
No, you haven't. You think you could give him another look without getting shot?
I can try.
Very well, Mike. Check back with me the minute you can.
There were 2 men in diving gear on board. I had no way of knowing what they were doing, but after the reception I got, I knew that it wasn't anything good. I decided to take an underwater look. The 2 divers were already in the water. One was obviously a beginner, being led by the other. They were heading toward the shore. Fortunately, they seemed so occupied with themselves, they didn't notice me. The smaller man made the team move so slowly that I had to stop to avoid catching up with him.
When I surfaced, the divers were already on shore. I noticed a speedboat anchored in the cove.
What were you trying, punk? To kill me? To drown me, huh? You know what would have happened to you? How you feeling? You okay? Yeah, I'm great. No thanks to you, though. I'm back again, see? I'm back again.
The face was familiar. The husky voice, too. I couldn't tie a name to them, but something told me that it was a bad one. I was never so right in my life.
Who's that? It's Danny.
Mr. T. Good to see you.
Well,
Welcome home.
Danny, the size of you.
It's been 5 years, Mr. T.
Yeah, but like 50 on the other side.
Now it all came back. The Crime Commission hearings. And their prime target, this same Mr. T. He entered this country illegally and operated illegally until he was deported. Now he was back, again illegally. Why?
We got a lot to make up for, kid.
You will. You'll have to take it slow, of course.
Why?
As Paul says, things have changed.
Paul, he hasn't changed. He's still chicken. But I'm going to change things back. With this, the old persuader. Well, what are you waiting for? Where's my clothes?
Paul's bringing them. He'll be here with the car any minute.
What was I waiting for? I had to inform the authorities immediately.
Hold it!
Hey, you turn around. Turn around! Hey, that's the guy that was nosing around the cruiser today.
Yeah, you're right.
Danny, he knows how I got in.
Oh, yeah?
What are you waiting for? This joker's got to go.
I was just listening for the car. This is a tough place to find, you know.
Well, it sounds like they found it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Danny? We'll let Paul take care of him, huh?
Sure. Through the tunnel, Paul.
Hello, Paul. Where's my clothes?
Right here. Come in, boys.
My one thought was to escape underwater fast. Instinctively, I pulled the helpless gangster to safety with me. I knew that it was my responsibility to turn him in alive if I could, and he was in no position to refuse any kind of help. We moved out as fast and as far as we could. I figured we'd have enough air to stay underwater until we reached my boat.
Don't waste ammo.
I'm not so sure, Paul. We may have hit him.
That boat over there might be that diver's. Could be where he's taking Mr. T. All right, here it is. You two, set yourselves up on that hill behind this cove. If they stick their heads out anywhere between here and that boat, chop them off. You miss too, and I'll stick those fancy scopes down your throats. Now move.
We had gone quite a distance, maybe far enough. I signaled Mr. T to surface so we could get our bearings. Those shots came so fast and so close. I didn't have time to look around.
You run that putt-putt?
Sure.
Come on, then.
My newfound buddy, Mr. T, didn't like it, but that was just too bad. We had to get to my boat, and we had to stay underwater all the way. There, I thought we'd be safe, for a while at least. Then something came along to kill that idea, fast. The speedboat. Mr. T's executioners, on their way out to finish the job. Two gunmen, intent on killing Mr. T, and me too, are approaching my boat.
You hit it all right. This is his boat. Nice. Too bad he had to tie in with Mr. T. Too bad for him.
Hasn't cost him anything so far, except a bath. Those hotshot riflemen missed them both by a country mile. Want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. I guess I'll have to stick around in this tub till that diver comes up with Mr. T.
Okay, I'm gonna stretch out. It's a Coast Guard boat.
What? Coast Guard Auxiliary.
This joker only happens to be a flotilla commander.
Anything else?
Two-way radio. Wanna bet he didn't flash the Coast Guard before he took the bath?
You handled that little boat pretty good. You handle this one?
Yeah, what's the deal?
I think he did call the Coast Guard. We're getting out of here before they show.
What about Mr. T? If we don't get him now, he'll get us.
Maybe. But if we stick around, no maybe. That Coast Guard packs artillery. Come on, get with it.
Anything yet?
No, sir.
How long has it been now, exactly?
Last contact made at 15:18. It's 25 minutes ago, sir.
Well, that's not so long. We'll be hearing from him soon. You keep me informed.
Aye, aye, sir.
Mr. T would have been a problem in 6 feet of water with unlimited air. Out here in deep water, with his air running out, he became a menace to life, his own and mine. He deserved whatever lay waiting upstairs, but I couldn't let him face it alone. My boat was nowhere in sight, but the riflemen were. From the beginning, Mr. T had been afraid of the water, but now he was really panicking. It was all I could do to handle him. There wasn't any time to argue. I had to use force. Finally, I knocked some sense into him. They kept firing for another few minutes. Then they stopped. Now our air was just about used up. We had to surface, hoping we were out of range.
What's the matter? Why'd we stop? We had to.
They're not shooting anymore.
No, we're out of range.
Hey, that's great. Great, man. Listen, I won't forget you for this. Just see the minute you get me back to shore.
I'd be lucky to get myself to shore now.
Look, I'm in on your boat.
He's gone.
Don't rip me. I don't like it, man.
No, she's gone just the same.
What are we going to do? Maybe another boat will come along.
Yours was the first boat I'd seen all day.
Well, what are we going to do?
Float.
I can't float.
You can with a wetsuit on. Here, let me take a weight belt off.
No report from Nelson yet?
No, sir.
It's been nearly an hour now. You better try and raise him again.
Argonaut II, WM2050. This is Coast Guard Radio. Over. Argonaut II, WM2050. This is Coast Guard Radio. Come in, please.
You know what I got stashed away on the other side? 2 billion, 3 billion, I don't know myself for sure. Well, 10% of it is yours if you get me out of this, so help me. 25%. Well, what do you want for Pete's sakes? Tell me, I'll get it for you.
Shut up! Save your strength. I'll keep us alive as long as I can. 10 million won't buy you a minute more.
Argonaut II, WM2050. This is Coast Guard Radio. Come in, please. Want me to keep trying?
No, he'd have responded by now if he could. There's a helicopter standing by. I'm going out there.
Take it easy now. Come on, get on your back again. Come on. All right. Relax.
This is it, Hatter's Cove. Due north now, low and slow.
It's a helicopter! Over there, come here! Over here! Over here! Where? Come back! Come back! Take it easy now. You hear me?
There's no sign of Nelson's boat, so we might as well turn back.
Very well.
I see him. Bring her about.
Roger.
Mike?
I am now.
What happened?
It's a long story. I'll tell you when we get back to the base.
We're not going back.
Give me that gun.
Are you kidding? You better tell that guy to head back to shore. Get over there, you.
Give me that gun.
You got 3 seconds to tell him your buddy here knows I don't kid around.
Will you give me that gun?
You better shout and tell him to go. No!
And overboard. Take it down. What's it all about, Mike? Who was he?
You remember a guy by the name of Vincent Turner who was deported several years ago? Well, that's who it was. He's going to start up his dirty business all over again.
Looks like he didn't quite make it. That fall would have killed anybody. Lieutenant called for a cutter. Tell him to recover the body.
Yeah, tell him to keep an eye peeled for my boat on the way.
You got that, Lieutenant? Tell him to pick up Mike Nelson's boat.
Roger.
Hi, I'm Lloyd Bridges, inviting you to join us for another action-packed story of underwater adventure 1 week from today.